was your problem, fatty, or any of that. Like, everybody was so awesome.
Aw, well, you should never ever like put yourself in that position. That's I know like sometimes it's tough like when you think like there's somebody more attractive because like don't get me wrong, there's always going to be someone prettier than you, me, and everyone else. And so sometimes you just have to embrace that at the end of the day we're all women and we have the same body parts and we have our differences. And so like I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but girl, I think everyone on this call, y'all are gorgeous. Okay, so sometimes we women tend to forget how amazing we are. We are gorgeous and hold on. We are gorgeous and like I said, self-esteem tends to like tie a big burden on us, but we shouldn't let that tie it on us. But according to Atlantic author Tannen has found in her research that women are far less inclined than men to explain their reason of breaking up with a friend. Women are more likely to avoid confrontation. They don't want to give their friend the opportunity to defend themselves. So this is where women and women's friendship, which is because of their emotional intimacy, according to Tannen, by far gratifying than those between men, especially for complicated, not knowing why a friend is ending a relationship, she would say. So it's a common belief that men are more competitive than women, but Tannen's findings suggested that reality is less clear-cut. Women are simply competitive in its way less obvious. They're competitive about connection. Women prized is as degree to which one is privy into the details of their friend's life. So this is where I come with the fifth question. Have you ever became friends with a female and you ladies broke it off over a petty reason? Does anyone want to share?
Mm.
I just heard someone say, ooh, come share.
This is Tawanda. Let me quickly share. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
I broke it off with a friend, and then she wasn't having it. I kind of thought it was a relationship then, but really she was too clingy, and I don't like clingy.
Yeah.
And after really going through that over and over and over, I told her that, listen, I think that you're nice, but I don't really want to be your friend anymore. Like, you're too clingy. And then she was very judgmental of me. Like, for some reason, she thought that I was perfect. And so anytime I did something that wasn't perfect, she began to be judgmental. So I sent her a long email, and I actually still have it, breaking up the friendship.
Oh.
And then she sent me a long email about how she wasn't going to accept it. So, yeah, I tried at least.
That's a little
and
aggressive.
she used her power on you. That's insane.
Exactly.
And and how about you, Francesca? Would you like to share? Have you ever became friends with a female and you ladies broke it off over a petty reason?
You know, I feel like I've heard horror stories from other friends of mine, but I think I've been pretty lucky and kind of steering away from people who kind of are, I don't know, just like negative energy. I think I've been pretty lucky of keeping people in my life who are actually like we won't get into it that much. But as of the top of my head, I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, well, like you, wow, you're perfect. I wish I could be more like you because
really.
I know for me, I know I'm kidding. No one's perfect, but no, honestly, like I wish I could say that I don't have a petty reason, but I've had my petty reasons. Like for example, I know this sounds like most of us ladies can relate because we're business owners and we all hustle in a way. And so I actually had a friend where like she just like Tawana, like you, she was pretty clingy. And she wanted to hang out, but she didn't understand the fact that like I was always busy doing my own thing, like whether it's like creating content or doing my actual job or just like trying to get stuff done because when you run a business, you just want to get stuff done. And so there was a time I felt like she was like a girlfriend or something, like an actual legit, like I was in a relationship with her, and she was like, you don't have time for me and blah blah blah. Your business seems to be much more important. I'm like, girl, yes, it's important. So I'm sorry, like this is not working out. And so I had to break off like that friendship. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to number 6. Have you ever had a friend who would leave subtle hints of jealousy yet was still nice to you? And I'm 99% sure that a lot of you ladies can relate to this. So who wants to go first? I do want 3 people to share. Anyone?
This is Chastity.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The whole like jokester kind of things, I don't take that very well. Like honestly, I just feel like, that little bit of sarcasm is kind of unnecessary, especially, depending on the tone and when it's said. Like, I like people who are very genuine with their support or, their criticism. Like, I'm all for constructive criticism and everything like that. But, like little smart comments or smart antics and stuff like that, it's kind of just like, little red flags to me where it's just like, I don't know how she meant it, and I might not, bring it up to her, but it's just like I kind of have to keep my eye on somebody like that. So that's just something that I tend to look out for.
At least you still keep a positive mindset with whoever you deal with. And no, that is hard because like I'm not gonna lie, when somebody uses like a certain sort of sarcasm, that hurts me too. And sometimes I'm like, man, should I say something or should I just pretend I'm not in my feelings about it? So no, I could totally relate. And I do want to ask you, Corinne, because I know I haven't heard from you, because I know all these wonderful women have been sharing, but I do want to get your input. Have you ever had a situation where a female friend was only there at your worst and all of a sudden disappear when you were thriving? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading. Ooh, I just spilled the beans for the next question. Have you ever had a friend who would leave subtle hints of jealousy yet was still nice to you?
Yeah, I think sometimes when people are like overly nice about a situation, it kind of comes off as being fake. So yeah. I guess in those situations, like I tend to ignore it, or either have a conversation about it, but maybe not say, are you acting like this because you're jealous? Even if I think that way. So we'll have a conversation about it if it gets to a point where I feel as though your jealousy is now like maybe harming me or putting me in danger or whatever it is.
No, definitely. And sometimes like when girls are just jealous like over silly things like that, it makes you question yourself, like, why are they jealous of me? Like, what have I done wrong? I'm such a nice person, so why? And so it's just funny how women act. Anyone else want to share before I move on to the next question? Going once, going twice. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next question. And I have a feeling that, Tawanda, you would be the best person to go for this question. So often us women are in business. We may have amazing jobs, a career, or we may be thriving in life because we had an amazing opportunity go well and we're excited. And when these things happen, we want to share it with our friends and our loved ones. And we just want them to be like our cheerleaders and enjoy it with each other. So my question is, Tawanda, have you ever had a situation where a female friend was only there at your worst and all of a sudden disappeared when you were thriving?
Unfortunately, yes. I know that everyone has probably heard something called the hero complex or the white knight. Like there are some guys that love to meet damsel in distress because they love to come and save them and to help. I think it's the same thing for some people in friendships. If you are riding high and you're awesome, they're not really too interested in being that cheerleader. However, if your day sucks, something bad happened, your dog died, you're crying, they're giving you soup and they're hugging you and they're there. And I think the reason that is maybe because sometimes people feel like that's the only way they can really help you. If you are an accountant, if you're an engineer, maybe they don't really understand what to say if you're in that arena, if they're not. But when you're at your lowest, I guess most anybody can get on the floor with you and kind of stroke your ego. But, yeah, and that's really disappointing if that's the only time. I mean, of course, if I'm going through something, it's great to have a good friend and a shoulder to lean on. However, be with me when I'm high and I'm low. Let's have a balanced friendship. That's extremely important to me.
Yes, a ride or die, exactly. I can also like feed off of you too because like sometimes like I'll be even starting about like my upcoming business, like how I'm like excited for it, and it's not necessarily meaning like, hey, I'm trying to sell you something or I want you to do this. Like I just love having my friends a part of it, and there's people who just don't want to get involved right after they see you thrive, and that can be difficult to deal with. And so like if I'm going downhill, you can watch me go downhill and give me a hug when I'm crying. But when I'm doing amazing, I want you to give me a hug if I'm doing amazing because I want to share it with everyone. Anyone else want to share? So, have you ever had a situation where a female was only there at your worst and all of a sudden disappear when you were thriving? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a business or anything. Like it can be any relation. It could be like a relationship. It could be anything in life or like thriving financially. So yeah, somebody definitely share.
I've experienced that. This is Bianca. I have experienced that a couple of times, and I think all of us may have had this experience once or twice. Where like you got your friend and you got your dude in your relationship, and your relationship is cool, everything's going great, or whatever, and you don't really hear too much from her. But as soon as something falls apart, and like you may post something on Facebook like, oh, this dude done did this to me again, or whatever, phone's ringing because they want to take part in the whole pity party, like they want to, oh girl, he ain't no good. I told you a long time ago you need to let him, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not there for you when y'all doing great and y'all successful, buying houses, having babies, this, that, and the third. But as soon as, things go wrong on the flip side, your phone's ringing off the hook because everybody got their opinions and everything of what you should do or what you shouldn't do or whatever. And it's the same thing, like, be with me through everything, through the whole journey. Like, don't just come to talk down about my situation when I'm going through something. Like, be there with me when it's up and when it's down. Like, that's those fake unreal friends to me. That's what I
know. Exactly. And like I said, that's the reason why like it's so hard to find friends nowadays. And like I said, this platform is made to build lifelong friendships, and so as women we definitely have to stick together in this. And so, anyone else want to share before we move on?
This is Francesca. Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to piggyback of what was just said. I feel like women, or at least in my relationships, like when I have a new partner in my life, they tend to kind of, just be jealous of the relationship. And it's like sometimes I feel frustrated because I'm like, I want to still have that relationship, but it's like just it creates like a barrier, and it's just not the same anymore with some friends. But yeah, I just feel like maybe that is an issue with women across the board when they have a new relationship.
No, I know, and it's hard because I guess like in some cases like that friend isn't in a relationship, and it could just honestly be because she's not in a relationship, so she's like feeding off that jealousy onto you, which is totally normal. But well, I don't want them to say normal, but like it's pretty common, and so yeah, like it's sad. But anyways, like I do want to share like ways you can spot a fake friend, and this is just a list. I'm gonna just go down. So the first one would be your friend is conditional. Your friend acts differently when you're around other people. Fake friends will speak poorly of you when you're not around. Fake friends will stop talking to you when you have a disagreement. Fake friends will disappear when someone is more interesting and shows up. Fake friends will always seem to want something from you. A fake friend will stop hanging out with you if you say no to them. A fake friend will never try and help you achieve your goals. A fake friend will always bring you down. And a fake friends don't listen to you. And lastly, there's two more. A fake friend sees your needs and wants it as irritation. And the last one is a fake friend doesn't accept you for who you are. And if you notice any of these red lights within your friendship,